After 2 months of wait, here we are. We're back. Attack on Titan chapter 129 is here. We used to think 130 was going to be the ending point. We were fucking stupid, weren't we? But here we are. Probably going to 135 at least, you'd have to think. But here we are. Gabi strikes again and something about Magath and Shadis. Attack on Titan chapter 129 review. Chat's obviously going wild. You can come and be in Twitch chat if you want to be. We're at 14 viewers right now. You know, big shit. Or you can just watch from YouTube because we need that. We get that YouTube ad revenue now. This is the first chapter where we've been monetized on the channel. More than 1,000 subscribers. Look at us go. How we've grown. What was the first chapter I covered on the old channel? I think it was 111, and now we're at 129. Fuck yes. No, it might have been 113. I don't know. I don't remember. Fuck that shit. We're ready to get into it. We got like 15 panels to work through. A lot of cool shit to discuss. Already throwing up in my mouth. That's beautiful. We'll see what chat says. Blanket's telling YouTube to fuck off. Don't join. He abuses us. Jojo is back. We've missed him. He treats me very well, Savage says. That's nice. All the usual characters around. Minty, Savage, Jojo's even back. Well, never mind then. You know the gang. But what the fuck was I about to say? Overall thoughts. I was a little iffy on the chapter when I first read it. It was sort of like, it wasn't a meh reaction. It was a good reaction, but just good. It wasn't anything great. I still don't think it's as good as like the last 10 chapters we've gotten. I think Minty said earlier in chat that this might be the worst chapter since 117. I might agree with that, though I still like it. There's nothing to be offended by here. It just didn't, I think it lacked the bigger moments that I think every chapter has. And by that, I don't mean big plot moments. I just mean good moments, really. The big coom moments. We really didn't have them that much in this chapter, I don't think. But overall, it's still go. And I've also begun to like it more the more I've thought about it and through like second and third rereads to make this old PowerPoint we got going on here. But let's get into it. So first we start off with Armin hallucinations falling into the ocean. Now, I'll just read it. Do I just have a tiny brain and don't understand what's being communicated here by Armin in a different outfit falling into the ocean, or is it a metaphor or hallucination? I'm pretty sure it's a metaphor of Armin. It can mean sinking into the ocean could mean a million things, but it was I feel like this was a very odd, the title page, you have Armin falling in the ocean, and it's just, he doesn't? Oh no, this is the dead body. What a dumb fuck. How did I just realize this? I didn't even look at chat. It's Daz falling into the ocean, and Armin's reaching out to him. Ignore all this text. How did I not get this until this very moment? Definitely the tiny brain thing was accurate. Holy fuck. I've been thinking about this all day, about what this could symbolically mean, and how it's the most vague symbolism I've ever seen of someone falling down. I was like, why is Armin falling? And he's in his fucking black suit. But over here he's got some white suit on. Literally the dumbest fuck. Okay, it makes more sense now, but him reaching out now is a far cuter moment. But really, who's the big idiot when you're listening to me as an authority on this Attack on Titan nonsense? And I can't even figure out that this is fucking Daz falling into the water. That's why there's only one body in the next pages. The more you learn. Don't read these chapters as soon as you get up in the morning. What the fuck? But him reaching out, this is much better now. I actually like this moment a whole lot more. What's chat saying? Tiny brain confirmed. But let's look at the title of the chapter since it's shown in the first panel. Yes, the title of the chapter is Nostalgia. It fits, obviously, it's relating to... nostalgia is in the whole gang is working together again, like Annie, Reiner, and everybody's working with the 104ths again. We're also killing a bunch of them. We're back to big Titan fights. Annie is back, which could be a form of nostalgia, but mostly it's through Keith, who is like, it's sort of a nostalgia of seeing all of his old... students working together and how they've grown and how they branched apart and then came back together at the end, here at the end of our story. Also Magath reflecting on what he's done before he dies at the end. You know the drill. That's what nostalgia means. I don't think I need to explain it any further. But Armin doesn't say a goddamn thing this chapter. He's just shot in the jaw, probably can't physically speak. He is not even killing anybody. I feel like he could have stayed behind and just nuked the fucking boat instead of Magath and Shadis having to die. But I guess he could have transformed. I don't know. But then he couldn't have caught up to help them. And obviously, for the narrative, we need Armin and Mikasa to confront Eren. So we can basically ignore everything I've said here. If this is a metaphor, I understand he's fallen. All the scouts are now killing the Jaegers and their former friends, and it's a real war where where we kill our enemies because we are more noble. Every time throughout the series, talking. I like this point, irrelevant of the fact that this is not Armin's hallucination or whatever. Every time throughout the series, talking and peace negotiations have failed when Armin has tried them. He's feeling hopeless rather. And this hopeless feeling is well captured in this chapter. I definitely think this chapter had a great feeling of hopelessness, even though we are winning right now. It's like, man, this is a monumental task, and like, Floch nearly fucked everything up. Like, he nearly won. All he had to do was blow up the fucking boat and everyone loses. And, like, he was so close. And that sort of moment of, like, oh, no, fucking Floch got through and we're fucked. I felt that in the chapter when I read the first time. We're not up to that yet, so he'll get one more chance to negotiate, I think, probably with Eren, and we'll see if it succeeds at the end. Obviously, the first time I think Armin and Mikasa try to talk to Eren, it'll fail. I wonder if they'll even try that. Armin is seeing again how talking has failed. It failed with Bertolt. It failed with Annie. Bertolt and Shinganshina. Annie, when they wanted her to go into the tunnel. It's fucked up a bunch of other times. Armin has tried this negotiation talk. I wonder if he'll keep to his principles and try it one more time, or if he'll abandon his principles and become like more cynical moving forward. We'll have to see. I'm trying to keep up with chat vaguely. The point is wrong that talking fails every time. That point is wrong about talking fails every time. Well, explain, Minty, then. Go ahead. Armin's killed tons of innocent people. What do you mean? Has he? Yeah, in Liberio he did. Did I say anything to the contrary there? I don't know. Maybe Leopold is arguing with people in chat. The more you read 128, the worse it gets. I wonder how this one will fail. Last chapter I could endlessly reread was 127. Well, Jojo's always got the worst opinions, and there he goes again. The reason he couldn't talk to Bert and Annie was because they didn't know the full context. Literally, as he's trying to talk to Bert and Annie, says something. Well, you can never have the full context in a conversation, right? That's the whole point. Not two people are going to have the same understanding about anything ever, because then what's the point in talking? They'd be on the same side. Even when he talks to Eren, he's not going to have the full context. And sure, people were forced into it, but again, it's just like, it doesn't mean that talking is bad because people can't talk out their issues. It's just that things are more complicated than that, I feel. I'm going to be the one to save Alvia. Floch is a good character-wise man. I wonder what he's going to do. Did these hypocrites forget about the Stohess massacre? Definitely true. A bunch of innocent people died there, but that was very arguably and very obviously for the greater good. That's no, Carl, that point is dumb. Minty, you're not Jojo. You're not allowed to just say that point is dumb. Give me a fucking paragraph like you always do. You don't get to be a shitter that just says wrong, alright? I can't keep up with the chat anymore. Let's move on to the next slide. Liberio at risk. Kiyomi's plan to use the boat. Then we move on here. Kiyomi comes up with a quick, fastest method because they can't get the ship operating quickly, which is something I think we all just assumed was going to happen, but Isayama's put more thought into this than we have because he's a good author. Gross. We long speculated about Kiyomi's narrative role, what Kiyomi's narrative role was going to be immediately with the Alliance, and now we know. The scouts intend to sail past Eren and then face the rumbling head-on from an Azumabito plant in Mali. Makes sense that they'll face Eren coming down on them and see the destruction he's causing. Maybe when the Jaegers see the bodies, they might change their minds, ? If Eren is even rumbling. I still love the troll wall idea we came up with in the last minute predictions, where what if Eren just like surrounded the continent of Mali with all of the colossal titans and just made a wall? That would be pretty fucking clever. I don't think this is going to happen at all, and if that was to happen, it would just be to like trap him in so he could kill them all, I think. But just like well, fuck you, you have walls. That's a good meme. Jean remembers the good times in Liberio means all the Eldian characters we've met will die. Gabi's entire family that we met, well, Reiner's entire family as well that we met will die. Eren's grandparents will die. Just all the people we met in, like, all the subjugated people in Liberio will die, and his father, obviously, we'll talk about that in a second. But I like that Gene, who the fuck knows what this prick's name is, he's remembering, like, hanging out with all the people when they went to Mali, like the drinking thing from 123. That was very clever. John, it wasn't even a big part of that flashback, but it just shows that, like, they all remember that and they all care about those people and don't think they're going to die. Pretty easy explanation for their motivation that people seem to still not understand about why they're against Eren. God, there are still some people who just don't get it. They just don't understand. What is Kiyomi saying here? City south from here is that place in which the Azumabito family has a facility. We can get ready and plan there. So I don't know. I wonder if they're going to encounter any... Because are all the rumbling people going this way? I'm using my hand like you can see it with the mouse. Like, they're marching this way. Like, I guess that's west, I'm going to assume. And they're going to go north. So they're not going to run into any Titans because they go this way. Or... are they going south? But then they'd miss all this part. So they have to go like a bunch of different directions, which I still think Eren's probably in like a remote location just controlling them and he's not like marching in the front lines. We still have no idea about the rumbling, if they've even made it to the thing, if Eren even is rumbling, because we haven't really seen it. Hange just made an estimation. So this is all important. Like, we don't know shit about really... We still don't really know shit about what Eren's actual plan is. Not in terms of, like, motivation or is he the good guy. We just really don't know, like, what his plan of attack to kill everybody in Mali and the rest of the world is right now. So it'll be interesting to see this. But obviously it makes more sense for the heroes to be waiting for the threat to come to them. And they can also, like... they'll be able to mingle with the people there and realize what they're doing it for. We'll talk about how Annie plays into this in a second, because I have no idea where Liberio is in terms of this map. I don't think we've ever got like a detailed map of Mali or anything like that. Should I be fucking reading chat? Yeah, he's gonna wreck shit. Definitely true. Not doing the rumbling would be the biggest blue ball ever. I'd be so mad. I don't care at all. That's Jaeger's talking points as usual. The rumbling already fucking happened. Blanket is pointing upwards. Why are you extending that to fix your preference? Mr. R says they could just have the plane online and then fly from the narrative perspective. This whole business is Isayama delaying the meeting. It will be late, in my opinion. This whole business is Isayama delaying the meeting. Yeah, well, obviously we're not going to see Eren until the very end. That's the whole point. That's the whole point of this entire arc. That's how it's been structured from the beginning. No, it's not about the rumbling being revealed or about them crossing the ocean or about them killing people. It's about everybody in the entire world. It just has to happen. Minty's making fun of Jaegerists. Always a fun thing to do. Your Titan design was trash and Liberio is a port city, dumbass. Did you read the manga? Well, I don't know if you understand this, but Liberio could be anywhere here. But I mean, it's up here. It's north of this. We know that. But like, if they're marching this way and it's a port city down here, that's pretty fucking different. Jojo being stupid as usual. Who would have fucking thought? Are we talking about Annie next? Of course we are. Mikasa saves Annie and still isn't killing people. At this point, Mikasa was still kicking people in the head, and I think that's important to point out. I probably say that over here. Change of plans, we'll escape with the ship, then fly from the continent. I still think we have to get the Titan transformation jumping out of the plane. God, what a maneuver it'd be for that to happen. But we see the Alliance slowly coming together still in this chapter. It's more on display in a panel later, but now, I assume I meant, Mikasa and Annie are helping each other and are working together even though they traditionally have hated each other. So it's nice that they're communicating, they're working, they don't have time to argue or be like, I hate you, they're just working through it. Mikasa still notably at this point isn't killing anyone, as depicted here. She's still just kicking people in the face. Obviously, this changes as we progress throughout the chapter, but it's important to point out here. Obviously, Mikasa was not ready to, like, just abandon all of the Jaegerists and just say, fuck it, we'll kill them all at this point. Eventually, when it looks like they'll have to sacrifice people from their side if they want to keep up this angle, she's like, fuck that shit, justifiably so. Annie is having trouble with thunder spears and the such because time has passed and Isayama recognizes that is some of that. So basically, Annie has never fought thunder spears before, so it makes sense that she's having trouble with them. It's one of those little details that he always gets right. Our boy Isayama doing well. That's the more boring Annie stuff, but this is the real Annie stuff. Annie's motivation, saving her father. Annie realizes that, like, well, if we're going to a port city, are we going to sacrifice Liberio? And I'm pretty sure the other people, like Kiyomi and Hange or whatever, they had a conversation where they're like, we probably can't save Liberio at this point. I think maybe Liberio might be the site of, like, the final battle, maybe. It'd be interesting if Eren, like, was hiding in Liberio or whatever, if that was where he was controlling shit from, because it's sort of got some symbolic significance. But Annie is obviously, she is not committed at all to saving the world, I don't think she gives a fuck about that, whereas I think everybody else does. She's just concerned with getting to her father, and I feel like if the mission calls for her to stay with them and not go to Liberio, she'll say fuck that shit and she'll go to Liberio and probably say all that here. Annie's motivation doesn't seem to be as noble as everybody else who's trying to, in fact, save the world. She only seems to be interested in saving her father, who is, at last we saw him, rioting in Liberio. When she finds out that they likely will have to sacrifice Liberio to defend beneath Liberio, what will she do? I could see her running off on her own, or maybe Armin goes with her or something. The Armin shipping thing, I think, still has to happen at some point, so I don't know if Armin would try to stop her or try and convince her. Maybe his talk no jutsu works for the first time ever. That'd be cool. Or Armin has to talk to Eren first, so I don't know if this idea of him going with Annie to Liberio or something, can we fracture the... I feel like we have to split up the crew at some point here, and they all have to have little victories that culminate in one big victory. Zeke is still not around, which is a very important thing. I will talk to him later, but he definitely factors into all of this. And if Floch is still around, maybe he's another little victory. But obviously there's a bunch of fucking mindless soldiers that we can fucking take down, and the millions and millions of fucking colossal titans roaming around, so... This monologue here seems to be teasing possible conflict in the future, if not within the group, at least internally within Annie. She needs some direction and focus outside of just joining the fight to be more interesting. Annie's character definitely needs some more shine and something independent and to grow a little bit. And I think whatever this is with her father could be a possible way of that. I think her father will probably die, and like maybe as she gets to him, he dies, and he's like, "You got to stop it" or whatever, and that forces her to go back to the group, and there she gets some more character stuff. Now, what's her motivation in life going to be after they save the world and after her father's dead? Well, it'll probably be Armin, and there you go. That's your little Annie storyline moving forward. But narratively, she really didn't get all that much focus outside of an explanation from her perspective about everything that had already happened. And now moving forward, we need some more development there, because she really didn't develop at all in her original arc, because we really didn't even know it was her doing these things until a certain point. Zan says, I want to see more of Reiner. Well, that's definitely going to happen. Minty elbow Carl destroyed by facts and logic. Did Minty say something? This is hard. Hold on. Minty's got a big fucking thing. Also, Carl, I'll copy my point. This is actually useful. Look at Minty with the big brain ideas. I said that Armin couldn't talk to Bert or Annie because he didn't know the full context in their actions. You said, well, they can never fully understand something. Well, what I meant there is that he's not going to fully understand Eren's actions either, but which is stupid because that implies talking is always pointless. No, not really. It's just that you can't entirely understand. Talking would be pointless if you both already understood each other. Then you don't need to talk. But hey, maybe that's your belief. Even then, it's stupid. Talking only works if you understand each other, right? No. If you understand each other, you don't need to talk. That's all my point is. Armin couldn't understand either of them, but that's how post-basement... So he isn't missing crucial info, but I feel like he absolutely is missing crucial info in an eventual talk with Eren, right? Eren's seen, like, everything, or nothing. We really don't know what the fuck Eren's seen, because we don't know shit about Eren. We know exactly as much as Armin, basically. But that's that. Jojo at Cementy, shut up, no one cares. Annie would care, yes, her whole motivation right now is seeing her father. You think Annie is going to give a single fuck if her father dies? That's literally her only motivation. Like, yes, of course. What else does she care about? I mean, I worded myself badly. Lamau, Eren got his life spoiled for him. Yes, I saw that Reddit meme, Zan, that you're repeating. Nostalgia can also refer to Floch's Irwinish inspiration of dedicate your heart moment. Yes, the dedicate your heart moment, now that we finally know that it means nothing, and that it was always a bad talking point, and that fucking nationalism was always bad, which we'll get into later. And that we were stupid to believe that we were ever dedicating our hearts to humanity, because until this moment, and what the Alliance is, they have never been dedicating their hearts for humanity, but actually now the Scouts are going to save humanity. What a clever turn of events. We thought, under false assumptions, that we were saving humanity from the Titans, and now we actually are. It's just that we're saving it from our original protagonist. Isn't it clever? Isn't Isayama great? Isn't Attack on Titan good? Even though most people would disagree with that. He couldn't convince Bert or Annie to not kill Paradis because he lacked the context of their actions, but now he knows he can actually make a case for why the world shouldn't genocide Paradis. Well, yes, I think Armin, maybe that's actually a better interpretation. Maybe Armin's talk no jutsu will work after they beat Eren on the Malayans. Armin's talk no jutsu, no, it didn't even work. I guess it did work because it convinced Pixis, but it didn't convince the other dude originally. But it does convince people around him. I don't know about this talk no jutsu never working thing. I don't even think I necessarily disagree with Minty disagreeing with that original point. It's just semantics, I guess. Yeah, Kyle's right about Annie's motivation. What is that 1 for 10? He's rarely right. It's embarrassing. Old Jojo. Continuing to go here. Kyle, we knew about Dedicate Your Hearts in chapter 110. It's also said in chapter 125 and 126. Yes, I know. I talked about it a million times about how them freaking out after Zackley gets assassinated is exactly to this point. This name is hard. Mr. A, or maybe Mrs. A, because it says Anne here, has showed up. I think they're new around here. Also, what do you think about Yelena's role in the narrative? She's supposed to know Eren's directions. Yes, this is something that's been implied. I don't entirely understand, but it's still quite ambiguous. She'll probably be some sort of mediator for Zeke. This is definitely true. But his whereabouts and conditions are still unknown. This is all true. I really don't know anything about that. Jack 2 base has showed up. Oh my god, yeah, that's some stuff. The 104 are truly the ones dedicating their hearts, damn. Also, yes, fuck nationalism. Jack 2 based, based. Elena is going to help Floch, who sneaks aboard. I think if Floch sneaks aboard, he's gonna secretly hold someone hostage. He's gonna be Floch's still alive and he's holding Elena hostage or something. Please let Floch die. I don't think Floch is dead at all. Without Magath, we're getting a rumbling ending, bros. Have no fear. We will talk about the Magath implications of him not being around to negotiate afterwards and what that means in a second. I'm sure Floch is going to lose an arm. His right one. Floch is going to die, alright? Eren is going to kill Floch. The Owen parallels are strong. Dedicate Your Hearts was in this chapter too. I don't think so at all. Magath's death was the most surprising event in the chapter. Yams decided to emasculate Floch to discourage us Jaegerists, but killed Magath to restore our faith. Please don't skip me, Kyle Savage. I don't remember. I can't read everybody, Savage. We're going hard here. We got 15 viewers. We're going to move on because the YouTube audience probably doesn't give a fuck about chat. And we got to pander to them because there's fucking 6,000 of them and 15 of you. And you're going to be around anyway, so don't lie, Savage. Hange killing all these idiots. We saw Hange killing other scouts to protect herself and Levi. This is back in I think it was 127 or whatever. And she was not on the same page as Armin, Connie, and Jean and Mikasa in trying to be more lenient in their approach to the terrorists. But now, and this is being shown, she's never been she was always I'll kill these fucking Jaegerists, I don't give a fuck. She also was just shooting normal scouts, people that maybe weren't Jaegerists, but were probably going to report back to Jaegerists. When they nearly found Levi's body in the forest, remember the big tear fucking panel, the great panel with Hange. And now she's out here fucking destroying idiots. And it's great. Hange's sticking true to her characterization. Isayama is a good writer. She's out here straight up murdering everybody. Everyone eventually comes around to attacking this situation in the same way Hange is, but as we saw last chapter, Hange is ruthless in her approach. A true Chad, mass slaughter is wrong. Mass slaughter is wrong. Clap for Hange. So yeah, it was great. Hanji's just fucking killing people. Mikasa is still kicking people at this point. She hasn't even come around. Kiyomi and the gang running in the background. It's cool. Reiner and Annie protect Kiyomi and the gang. Both two parallel shots, very obvious here. Reiner and Annie both have similar moments protecting the Azumabitos and Kiyomi here, and the tension was done incredibly well in this chapter. As the fandom has pointed out, the Alliance is trying to do something nearly impossible, and everything has to go right for them to succeed here. Good thing righteousness will get them through. Being right is good and will get you through in narratives, and our boys in the Alliance, they be right. I try to use Alliance instead of Avengers here. Reiner also protecting Annie afterwards. His appearance post getting flamed looks like he did after Annie kicks the shit out of him. I didn't put this in the PowerPoint, but where Reiner's in front of Annie and he like protects her from the thunder spears because she doesn't know what the fuck's going on. She's like, what the fuck is this? Reiner jumps in front of her, and inside he's like, no, his Titan form face is all fucked up, just like it was after Annie kicked the shit out of him, after Marcel got eaten. It's a good little parallel there, and like Reiner's now protecting Annie like he said he would back in the day. He was going to be like Marcel, and he's going to embody that moving forward into the final here as he takes more of a leadership role, especially now that Magath is dead, and Annie really doesn't give a fuck about Marley. For their side, Reiner sort of has to stand up now because he's like the most senior member there, unless our boy Zeke rocks back up, but I don't think they're going to be trusting him to be their leader. So Reiner really has to step up here. We'll talk about the generational thing the further we get down. Oh, we got a new follower. Who is it? Avid Neptune. Did I say one right? What the fuck is this doing? Holy shit, I think I said one right. But thanks for the follow. You got the friendly reminder. See, YouTube audience, you come over, you follow on Twitch while we're live streaming. Revy tells you to fuck off. It's like your wet dream, alright? Come over here and give us that follow. I think we're on like 110 Twitch followers now. We've been getting followers out the fucking ass recently. And we got monetization, and we got 1,000 subscribers. Things are going alright over here. But yeah, this was clever. You really felt like these Azumabito people could get fucked up. Like, it feels like it could go either way in this battle, which is something I didn't anticipate feeling while reading a chapter. Again, the tension and the hopelessness, the sense of hopelessness, are done very fucking well here. I think almost better than they've ever been done in this series. We'll talk about Pieck and how I thought she was almost definitely dead. And really, I don't know why I fell for it. I usually don't fall for it, but I definitely did. And it's a props to Isayama for making me fall for it. And I think maybe a lot of you fell for it too. When Floch got past them and was going to shoot the boat, I was like, oh fuck, he's gonna do it. I actually thought he was gonna do it. And obviously it made the Gabi moment where she shoots him out of the sky even better. But I think the tension overall and how close everything is from completely falling apart, and how this whole alliance is held together by fucking shoestrings and fucking nothing and fucking duct tape while we go through and try to save the world. It's all great. It's fucking makes for good television. What's chat saying? Jojo and Minty are arguing, it seems. I already told you Mikasa isn't avoiding killing people. She cracks the guy's skull in the last chapter. Yeah, she's not dead. He's just fucking knocked out. Just because there's blood coming out of the head doesn't mean they're dead. Mikasa isn't killing people. Disagree. And there doesn't seem to be anything too interesting coming up in chat. We'll just continue on. We'll have a big chat thing at the end where people can talk about specific things they disagreed with, whatever. Falco transforms for the first time. Falco finally transformed for the first time, and I can't say that this is the prettiest thing I've ever seen over here. The claws are really fucking cool, though. The rest of the design, I'm not all too sold on. Does Falco even have body hair at this point? He's probably 14, so maybe he does. But he's got fur and shit. This fucking claw looks cool as fuck, though. The other one over here, I think that's Annie in the background. Yeah, tits. She's all fucked up, decapitated. I don't know. The more I look at it, the more I like it. The double jaw thing, I don't know how I feel about that. I know how this outer jaw is really useful. I guess it is. It fucks up Pieck later, so. This design is a little weird, and I'm trying to figure out why it's so different and what the purpose of it being designed this way could be. We talked about before streams that, before we started recording when I was just streaming, that this maybe could be a flying Titan or something because of the feathers. I don't think so, but the cool imagery of Gabi sniping fucking Eren on top of a flying Falco. I think I said Floch before. That's pretty big memes. I I don't dislike it though. The weirdness, I'm sure, has a purpose, and the claws are cool, even if the jaw and mouth situation is a little different. Also, feathers. This is the best shot we got of it, right? We didn't get like a full perspective shot of like. It's still really short, I presume. Like, is it supposed to be like a combination? It doesn't really look like Ymir's at all, because Ymir's just looked like a normal Titan with sharp teeth. It wasn't really a design. Porco's looked really fucking cool. And I think Marcel's looked the same as Porco's, but that makes sense because they're like brothers. Falco's is looking weird out here, but it just goes to show that like the Titans haven't always looked the way they look now. Obviously Grusha's Attack Titan looks completely fucking different to Eren's shit, so I've seen some people memeing about how maybe Zeke is responsible for the new designs, hence the fur/feathers. If Zeke is still in the Paths realm or some shit like that, maybe he's given all the new Titans feathers now. All the scouts decide it's time to fucking kill these pricks. They basically, here's what they say: if we hesitate, comrades will die, so fuck you. We ain't dying, you are. So Mikasa starts cutting pricks up. Hange's just fucking putting swords through people's backs. That's cool as fuck. Connie's crying, but he's finally around to it. Jean, he's shooting people. Look, it's a Mikasa Jean thing. Maybe the ship for the shippers is still alive. I mentioned that Mikasa wasn't killing people all last chapter. In the beginning of this chapter, things started to change when the lights got brighter. Last chapter, it seems like the warriors were going to handle the burden of killing the Alliance's enemies, but now it's everyone's burden. This can easily be rationalized as this now being a real civil war where killing the enemy is justified, and this is reflected in the panel where they talk about how their comrades are going to die if they don't start getting lethal with the terrorists. Everything they are doing can actually be justified as being for the greater good, unlike the Jaegerists, who it's just in their greater self-interest rather than the actual greater good. This is most important for Connie after the actions of last chapter, even though we got very little dialogue from him in this chapter to indicate what the impact of the end of last chapter had on his psyche. Connie seems to be freaked out, but he seems to not be wallowing on the issue like Armin seems to be. He's like, well, fuck it. If we're going to start killing friends, fuck them all. We'll go all the way with this shit, and he doesn't seem to have much hesitation anymore. Obviously, in the Uprising arc, they had big hesitations about killing other people. John was most in that sort of character arc thing. And then Connie, I remember Connie and Sasha were like crying after they beat up Bertolt or whatever in Shinganshina. Or maybe it was Reiner. I think it was when they were blowing up Reiner and they thought Reiner was dead because his fucking head was blown off. But he wasn't. So I know, little character consistencies here. Hold on, we'll check chat one more time before we go into Gabi kills Floch. Kyle, one disagreement I have is you labeling these guys as pricks. They are fucking terrified. Floch and the Jaegerists here all believe that they are doomed if they don't stop the Alliance here. We actually talk about exactly this point in a second about how I don't care. Fuck them. Explaining shit to them is not worth the time. We just gotta go. We tried to explain shit to them. Samuel and Daz were too fucking stupid. Get them out of the way. We got a world to save. Floch spurs them on, and you can see in their eyes also, I think Isayama has confirmed that Paradis is doomed if the rumbling fails. So, how would he have confirmed this? Did he say it in an interview? I don't know. That doesn't count for shit. Yeah, also the author is dead. Who gives a fuck what he thinks? Also, no, they're not former comrades. Most of the Jaegerists are random recruits. Well, they were all scouts until like 2 months ago, right? I mean, if you want to define comrade as someone you've actually been into battle with, well, I guess they were anyway in Liberio, so... Minty's stupid as fuck. Daz and Samuel are already dead. I know. Imagine arguing about a Chinese cartoon. Floch was part of the 104th too. This is definitely true. Except Berserker is a good man. I think I made this point before, but I remember... In the old theories where I used to imply that maybe Eren raped Historia, and I always thought, like, if that was revealed, like, that's the one thing that could turn the Jaegerists against Eren, and it would stop the Eren did nothing wrong thing. And then I just remembered The original did nothing wrong meme was for a rapist, so it doesn't matter anyway. What a meme. What a meme. Griffith did nothing wrong. Jesus Christ. It really exists. People say those things. Do you think Eren has a bigger body count than Griffith? Not in terms of sex, but in terms of death. No, definitely not. Griffith's definitely killed more people. That's irrelevant. You're sad. You're so mad right now. Queen Gabi has slayed another bad guy. Fucking true. God, what a great. This is the best moment of the chapter easily. This or the image here. I really like this image, but this fucking Gabi stuff, I like it more than the Magath Keith stuff at the end. We need more Gabi highlights. She's the best. Get all these fucking other hack boring characters out of here. Put Gabi in the spotlight where she fucking belongs. Gabi is the marksman of Attack on Titan. She shot that evil potato girl with her smooth rolling maneuver. She shot that cuck Eren while he was sprinting towards his shithead brother, and now she shot a flying fascist cop right out of the sky. Look at this man's face. Look at him. Disgusting. It doesn't really show. It seems like... No, this is the thunder spear going off, so we don't really know where he got shot, or at least I can't see in these images that I got here. But Floch is definitely not dead, and as I speculated in the last minute predictions video for this chapter, which you can watch on the channel, I don't know why you would now, since all of that is immediately outdated. Somehow Floch is going to get onto that plane. I called it when it happens. Give me all the points for predictions, which is now a boat. Because Eren is going to kill him and separate himself in the reader's mind from Floch and the Jaegerists, or Gabi just killed him, which would be perfect as well. It would be a little anticlimactic if he was dead here. I think we'll see him suffer a little bit more, though this face is great. Gabi's still like not used to this shit. Fuck me. But yeah, it was a great moment. I literally thought they were done. Look at this little silhouette up here, fucking shit up. Cool stuff. Magath obviously gave her the pat on the back to do this right before this. She made him proud. It's all great. What can I say? Gabi tried to spear a 10-year-old girl. Fuck Kaya, she deserved it, alright? She was gonna sell him out. I remember that panel. She just gets out this fucking, the farm fork thing and is ready to stab this fucking little girl. Good times. It's not as bad. She's a little girl too. Gabi, who's gonna throw me out of the blimp now, bitch? Definitely true. Carson's Gabi too hard? Not true. Not hard enough. I don't think I even put her on the top 5, which was a mistake. I replaced Magath as Gabi's sugar daddy. I think I literally call Magath her dad later on in this PowerPoint. I was nervous with the leak and thought the logic was stupid. Well, Jojo thinks whatever he doesn't like is logically stupid, so... I have no sympathy for the ignorant nationalists. I don't care. Look at these bodies. No sympathy for these idiots. I don't feel bad for the bodies at all. The ignorant way they call everybody else traitors because of their previous homegrown boy Eren couldn't be wrong. This is a fucking sentence and a half. They call everyone else traitors because their previous homegrown boy Eren couldn't be wrong. Really makes them annoying. But that's just the ignorance angle. It's hilarious that they are so sure yet so fuck me if I could read my own shit. It's so hilarious that they are so sure yet so knowingly incorrect and hypocritical. But they're also terrible radical idiots. So if they have to die to save the world, I can live with that. They aren't my friends, ... Poor Connie. He's still fucked up about it. Mikasa's like, where the fuck is everybody? John's still shooting pricks. Hange's watching everybody else because she's like a commander girl. See, it all makes sense. Bodies on the ground. We never could have reasoned with them. We saw that with Daz and Samuel. They were just too stupid. They kept fucking defaulting to the traitor thing. They kept thinking too small-brained about themselves. Fuck them. Get them out of here. Falco nearly kills Pieck. This is a great little moment, a great little consistency detail that I like a lot. This jaw be working two ways. Pieck could really be getting fucked up here. She didn't even try to fight back. I had heard that 2 characters died in this chapter, and I thought this moment, I thought in this moment that Pieck was one of them, and I got scared. Pieck one of my more favorited characters. I definitely thought she was going to die here. I thought she was going to be one of the ones. She's going to be like irreparably damaged, and Falco was going to have to deal with this, and that would be his arc going forward. Look, we got a better. It really is like a bird fucking titan. Look at this fucking claw right here. Does this thing have fucking wings? Is the meme real? Are we throwing out the Willy Tiber memes for the Flying Titan meme? They've teased it so much. They brought it up in the narrative. That fucking prick at the table in Mali was like, we don't have a Titan that could fly, did we? And that's why everyone immediately thought, well, obviously the Warhammer Titan is going to have wings because it'd be funny if that was real. It always ends up being real. Because Isayama is setting up our expectations. Can this fucking Titan fly? Look at this fucking bird hoof here. If this thing flies, I want fucking points. It's nice to see Isayama being consistent with the first time transformation thing. Eren attacked Mikasa the second time he transformed, and the first time he essentially wasn't conscious, ? That's still a bit iffy. Maybe a little bit of retconning going on there. So it's nice to see him show that even for Falco, someone who trained for this exact scenario, even he struggles the first time. And he freaks the fuck out, doesn't know what's what, he trusts his instincts, he just wants to eat people. And we saw the Titans go after, the mindless Titans go after the shifters all the time back in the day. It's all consistent. It all works well here. Falco. And it was a good little death scare out, especially since I knew people died this chapter. Chat doing anything? Eren, Zeke, Reiner, and Erwin are S tier. God, could you have a more generic list? Zeke is boring. Savage and Jojo disagreeing. It's news to me. Kenny is A. Kenny is definitely better than the 4 characters you just mentioned. And Connie isn't as good as Kenny. Connie's definitely been getting much better recently. I think he's definitely a more interesting character recently. I don't know why I bother writing these paragraphs when Carl never reads them, and only people who read them are Jaegers and Chat Lamau. Well, wait until the end, alright? We're going to have a big chat thing at the end. I can't keep up with chat and entertain these YouTube people now. We've just gotten too big. We're at 19 live viewers. Fuck me. Well, they're starting to... All the enemies in chat are starting to combine into one alliance against me. This is not good. Kenny, I forgot such a good character, Askeladd ripoff, because he has that one line about everybody being slaves. That didn't come from Askeladd originally, Savage. I'm sorry. Generic doesn't mean bad. Holy shit, the contrarianism. Did I say anything about generic? But I'd say generic equals bad if I wanted to. This is all subjective. Nothing is wrong and nothing is right. Kenny is watered down Askeladd. Kenny is definitely better than this fucking boring Vinland Saga prick. And Askeladd is the best character in Vinland Saga. Of course I have a generic answer. Oh, yeah. Oh, I called his fucking choice of characters, yes. If Erwin, Eren, Reiner, and I can't even remember, and Zeke are in your top 5, like literally boring taste, get out. Levi and Jean are probably the best characters. Gabi is bottom S tier at most. Jean sucks. Get him the fuck out of here. Levi is the best character in Attack on Titan. I have a whole video about it. Go watch that shit. I still think it's hilarious that JoJo said top 4 characters from the Jaegers NPC meme. True. I'm at chapter 26 of Vinland Saga. Oh no, Jack 2 base. We'll try to avoid these things. Gabi is A tier. She's too overpowered at times. Literally the dumbest meme. The Gabi is overpowered meme. She literally is just a girl with a gun. Calm down. Just because she shot your favorite boys. I'm sorry, Jojo. Get mad. Queen Gabi will slay. Alliance leaves on the ship. This image works on so many levels. This is a fucking great goddamn thing. God damn it. Fucking beautiful. This is probably going to be the thumbnail, I think. How am I going to stretch this into a thumbnail length, though? Cut off the bottom bit here. Cut off the dudes in the background, maybe. I don't know. This image works on so many levels. Firstly, it helps. I love that I just made Gojo so mad, and I'm not going to see his response for another 5 minutes. Great times. Firstly, it helps with the hopelessness angle that Isayama is driving home. Our heroes are up against insurmountable odds, and showing their exhaustion after a single battle and how fucked up they are is important. Look at them; they look fucking exhausted. Magath is like, "Oh god, I'm about to die. I know what I got to do." Look at Falco. He's got little marks around his jaw because he's the jaw titan. Ha, I get it. Pieck is all fucked up. Reiner's all fucked up. Annie's literally unconscious, bleeding from the nose. Mikasa is like, why am I holding this bitch? I fucking hate this shit. Where's Eren? It's great stuff. Also, again, it subtly shows the alliance coming together through the battle again. Look at who's carrying who. Mikasa has Annie, even though they supposedly hate each other. Now they're combining. They're becoming one. They're being friends because they had to fight beside each other and risk their lives to help each other. I think I say that here. They are risking their own lives for each other. Obviously, it brings them together. Pieck and Magath are here. Pieck and Hange are here. They've always been very similar in people's minds. Very smart girls. So they're there, and obviously John, whatever the fuck. Why am I fucking up his name? Which one do I usually say? I don't even remember. John is here, and he said he would never forgive Reiner 2 chapters ago, but he's slowly starting to, because he's starting to sympathize. They're fighting alongside each other. The fences are being mended here because they have united against a common enemy. It's great. Don't let people cry and complain about it to you just because they really want Eren's cock in their mouth. Who gives a fuck about those idiots? This is some great shit. And then obviously Magath, and he's looking down at this generation, as he mentions later on. He's like, I fucked this shit up. Probably shouldn't have done that. Also, he's coming together because he's got a little Scout's outfit on. Look at this shit. Look at the little Scout thing here. Is it really that? When did he get that? Did I miss this part? But that's cool. They're all coming together. Great times. Fuck, are we already at the end? We are. Magath and Shadis go out together as heroes. They go out as true heroes, heroes without acknowledgement. No one will never know that Shadis came all this way to help him, and that's how it should be. He wasn't special, he will not be remembered by history, it all ties back in. These two dying, we'll talk about the implications for the future, because I had both of these idiots surviving till the end for, like, one reason or another. But here they are both dying. They are both parallels to each other. They both trained the two different sides that have now come together. It's because of these two that we now have all these people that can come together to save the world. They're sort of the stepfathers of saving the world here. And they're also contributing to things here, and they're relating to each other. They don't have many friends, but here they are relating to each other before they die. It's cute. It's great. I told you the more I talked about this, the more I'd like this chapter. But maybe after Gabi rules the world, at the end of the manga, she can make a hello statue for Magath because she's all fucked up when her dad dies. It's true. She's fucking having the big tears moment as they look back as Magath explodes himself with Shadis. It's all... Shadis also decides to die there. It all makes sense. It's all very well done. The Gabi moment for Magath is great. Obviously, we've seen their relationship and how close they were throughout the thing. Quality stuff, quality stuff. This solemn moment is a fitting end for Magath, who's a much bigger character than Shadis, as he realizes and acknowledges everything he's done wrong before going out. That's why he had to bow last chapter. I did think it was weird that he had to bow. I think that was last chapter. It wasn't 2 chapters ago. But, like, we had to get all the Magath stuff out of the way. And I was like, why are we doing this all now? Turns out he was going to die next chapter. So watch out, Connie, is the conclusion for the future from that point. So yeah, Magath realizes that he put all the kids in the terrible situation to have to attack the walls. He's sort of responsible. He's taking responsibility here. And he's taking one for the team here and killing himself just to blow up this Malayan ship. Clever that he's blown up the Malayan ship. Very good. Shadis is also in a Survey Corps thing now. I don't know if he was... Did he get this off somebody? Why would he be wearing this? Doesn't he usually wear the cadet thing? But he's sort of going back to his roots, I guess, symbolically. Or Isayama is known to fuck up with the symbols sometimes. Are we going for the passing on the burden, the next generation thing? So these are the old blokes, and they're basically trusting the future to the next generation. Attack on Titan doesn't always do this, because Levi did beat the Beast Titan instead of Eren, which is another thing I pointed out before of like, well, they're not fully doing the generation thing of like the old people have failed, now it's the new people's time. That's in like every manga and is in like every Japanese media thing ever. That seems to be a very consistent thing that the Japanese people believe, that like, all right, the old people fucked up so the next generation can come through with their new ideas and change shit. I think that's sort of what's going on here is the two commanders like die and they entrust it to the next generation. I thought Attack on Titan wasn't going to do this, but it seems like they definitely are. So does that mean, because now our main cast isn't the new generation anymore. The new generation is Falco and Gabi. So does this lead more credence to the theory that Eren's going to pass it on to Gabi and sort of like she'll talk no jutsu him out of it or something? And he'll entrust all of his powers to her for her, and he'll be like, as a last gasp, Gabi's like, well, if you just want to give up, let me try. Give it to me, and I'll see if I can do anything. If you think it's so hopeless or whatever, if there's no better option. And Eren might agree to that, because fuck it, he doesn't care at this point. So I don't know. If that's the case, if this is the angle we're going for, then whatever Gabi wants will probably win in the end because we'll just trust it in the next generation. And also Kaya works into that because they're friends and they get along now. So maybe the next generation coming through can mend these fences, which is usually what happens, even very contemporarily. This has big implications for how I envision the ending. Obviously, I thought Magath was going to be a big thing in negotiating after they stop Eren and being like, well, he can advocate for the Paradisians and for the Eldians from the Mali perspective to the other Mali people. And also, I thought Shadis might have to meet with Eren again and have another conversation about the special stuff, all that thematic stuff with Carla. And what she said originally, but neither one of these things are coming into fruition now. So maybe that opens the door for Armin to talk no jutsu his way out of this situation. I'm not sure. The ending continues to get more mysterious. I don't know why we even bother predicting, because whatever you're thinking right now is the ending will not be the ending. Isayama has demonstrated that a million times about how no one predicted most of this stuff. But I think that's all I have for the chapter, and now we'll go over to chat. Let's look at comments from the fandom, if we haven't already, if we have to fuck off. Well, we used to do this when we'd go to Reddit and yell at them or something, but now we have a whole chat of unread, very angry people. So we'll talk to them for a moment, I think, while we keep this up for the rest of the chapter review. If you don't give a fuck about chat, get the fuck up out of here now. I can't believe people still thinks the peace ending is still possible without Magath, lol. Jojo being stupid, imagine that. Kyle will now take the position that Gabi alone will inspire the world. Other Greta Thunberg, no, she's way cooler than her. To save the Eldians, yes, why not? Thotery, Xanthus, I don't know what the fuck he's talking about. Honestly, if the rumbling was going to happen, it would have happened by now. What do you mean? It is happening. It's kind of tragic that Shadis dies a bystander, as no one who is alive knows what he did in the Jaeger's reinforcements. He became a hero at the end, though. Well, that's the whole point. You shouldn't do things just to get credit for them. You should do what's right, and that's what Shadis is doing right now. He's doing what's right. That's Kino, though. Well, never mind, then's got a point. Kyle, the understanding thing... Hold on, let me try and read Minty's thing properly. Let me take a drink. Why did I say understanding? Carl, the interesting thing, though, is that the old people's deaths are presented as unjust. Pixis, Nar, Magath, and Shadis all went out seemingly like heroes. Also, they all did. Like, Pixis took control, and he was like, fuck yes, we'll fight back. Niall saved Gabi and Falco. So they've all facilitated, like, the next generation coming through and continuing on their journey. Obviously, Erwin's already dead, so yeah. But Levi's still around, and so's Hange, so maybe we're fearing for them. Also, the idea of the older generation needing to be wiped out is weaponized by Jaegerists. Well, and no one said anything about wiping out. It's just like a thematic passing on of the torch. Like, that's what life is, right? The whole point is that we do stuff and then we pass it on to our kids and they pass it on to theirs, so the human race continues to, like, progress. It's not like they have to be wiped out, because that means you can't do anything to pass on. Like, it's not like an anti-boomer thing or whatever the fuck. By the Jaegerists, and just because something is weaponized by the Jaegerists, it doesn't mean we should stop doing it, like we should kowtow to them. We don't negotiate with terrorists here. And the remaining antagonists are two 19-year-olds. Just thought it was interesting that Isayama is putting a focus on society progressing, but he is somewhat criticizing the simple old people bad mentality. I definitely thought that's what he was doing. This seems to indicate maybe he's going in a different direction, but maybe not. Pixis and Magath work well dying in tandem because they are very much parallels of each other. So it could be irregardless of the age thing. Again, reading into thematic stuff before the series is over is very difficult, and we have to change like every month. Thing is, because they're going to meet up with the rumbling, they'll probably stop it. I mean, yeah, of course. I don't think it ends... I don't know. There is a 1% possibility it ends with the big massive rumble. But even then, Eren has to die somehow, because it has to be... Like, if they're going to go with the world ends ending, they have to go with the Devilman ending of just everybody dies, not like Eren wins, and... I know the Jaegers get their happy ending of... I don't even know what that could possibly look like. What do they even think is going to happen? Like, he goes back to Paradis, and everybody in Paradis cheers, and everything's settled. Kill all your enemies. That's the theme. I guess that's what Jaegers think. I don't know. I'm at rumbling end of the world. Please read comments on Titanfolk or wherever. I don't want to. I already did today. God, they're all so stupid. Devilman End. Maybe I've created a monster in this Devilman ending and I've actually made people want it, and this might be a bad thing. I think the theme about being special will come up once we understand how the time travel and the passing of the memories works in Attack on Titan, like literally. I agree at this point. There's something I like remember once every 3 months, and it like baffles me that we don't talk about it more, is like it has to tie in. Like Mikasa has to say goodbye Eren, and then it has to transition, but it's also Mikasa with long hair but younger. And I know a long time the theory was like, oh, it's their kid saying goodbye, that's why they look similar, but it's got long hair. It might just be, there's that scene in Steins Gate that it reminds me of, that in my head it reminds me of, it doesn't do anything to actually remind it of, where there's like that one scene in like, I think it's at the beginning of episode 12, which is the one where Mayuri dies, which like changes everything going forward, where it's like Mayuri talks to Okabe like she's the one traveling through time a million times, and it's like on this weird planet thing. It's a bunch of weird imagery, but like, and then it could be like somehow a weird time traveling version of Mikasa through the past realm says goodbye to Eren, or it's just Eren remembering that and it's a memory of his, and he's like, maybe he idealizes something about young Mikasa and about how like innocent she was. Maybe it could be him remembering her. No, she's in the outfit she's in like chapter 1. It's such a weird way to try and put this together. I was going to think maybe he remembers her before she realized how cruel the world was, because part of Mikasa's backstory was that she didn't understand, like she ignored how cruel the world was until her parents died, because there was like the imagery of like the, what are those weird bug things called? It was like eating a butterfly or something that she liked, but she ignored it. And like her dad came home and he had like a dead duck, and she ignored that the duck was dead, and like was like happy that her father killed it or whatever. Maybe he was idealizing like an innocence there, like a childlike innocence, but I don't think that fits. That's where I was going with that. I think it would have sounded weird if I just left it off. What do you expect to grow? Why do you expect to grow your channel much more with such a standoffish, arrogant attitude? Because it's hilarious. You ain't finna make money off this. Your personality is not very marketable. Whatever. Who cares? Yeah, read Titanfolk comments when you read them. They hurt me less. I know what JoJo means by them. I feel like he's usually in line with them. Shadis is probably one of the most miserable characters in the series. Glad he got a decent ending. Definitely true. I don't know why people said they cried at the end. Wasn't that emotional? No, it wasn't that emotional for me at all. I never cried at Attack on Titan. I don't expect to either, I don't think. It's that type of series. Still better than Connie bullshit last chapter. That shit was way better than everything in this chapter. Stoic JoJo. I like the parallel with Eren and Hange in the beginning, where Hange reacts to the word gamble, which Eren was famous for. Cool small little moment. Okay, I didn't catch that, but that's cool. I bet JoJo stands... I don't know who the fuck that is. What a completely uncharitable interpretation without any nuance whatsoever. I don't know if Minty's talking to me or someone else. I agree, let's read controversial comments on Titanfolk. Let's not. You shouldn't read into the themes before the series is over. It's pointless. It's fun. It's not pointless. Hunter time. We could talk about that a little bit afterwards. I am going through Hunter and One Piece right now, and One Piece is way better. So let's talk about an actual good series Savage is coming through. Carl, will you read comments on Reddit or somewhere? Probably not. Not this time, since we have so much in chat to catch up on. It's weird. I'm scrolling through the chapter now, and the second half of it thought it takes place on 5 pages. Lol. Great strawman, Carl. You're good at this. You can just say strawman without defining what I did wrong, JoJo, when you lose, but have fun. It's defo a man. The back is too broad, you know, Kyle. What the fuck is he talking about now? Imagine saying straw man without explanation. Whoa, Savage. Correct, true. Shout out to my Jaegers in the comments. Rumbling is objectively best ending. Borden Beaterson took over here. I can't wait to see where the fuck Historia is and what she thinks about everything. True. That's definitely a saving for the end thing. The people who are still like, where is Eren, is like, they have to be the dumbest people. They're worse than the Jaegerists. At least the Jaegerists understand. The where is Eren people are the dumbest people in the fuck. Obviously, we're saving it for the end. Why would you anticipate anything from Eren this chapter? Why would you be so dumb? I just don't understand. Like, are you waiting on bated breath for Eren? Like, what the fuck? It's not going to be that interesting when we find out anyway. It probably will be. Ignore that last part. Gross. Weird bug thing. The disrespect to the praying mantis. That's what it's called. Praying mantis was the word I was looking for. Kind of sad that Magath died. He was one of the only ones who understood the entirety of the moral spectrum. You're right, Miss Tiber. Eldians are all demons, and so are we. Yeah, Mr. Tiber, not Miss Tiber. Yeah, it was a great line. Magath was a great character. I don't think we'll be seeing Historia for a while, not until the end. We'll see her in the next 5 months or so when this thing's over. Because he's Australian, that's why they're arseholes, it's in their culture. True! People just... No one understands Australian sarcasm outside of Australia, and it's hilarious. Fuck them. That's what I gotta say. Hange's former crush died. True. She did use to crush on Shadis. This was a little detail I remember. The way Shadis went out reminds me of that Doctor Who quote... without witness, without reward, Savage and Jojo, you should recognize that you're British. Maybe. I don't respect Doctor Who as a TV show, Minty. I don't know anything about Doctor Who. Let me go to the bottom of chat. I only watched 10 best episodes on a random website. I don't know what the fuck Jojo's talking about. Also, aren't we distancing ourselves even more from Historia? I know POVs aren't dependent by distance, but it's just her role seems so ambiguous. I think we'll get the Historia stuff when... we get the Eren flashback. I think they're going to be one and the same. It will come. It will come. It will be great. It will tie everything together in ways we couldn't have even imagined. It will be awesome. It may even satisfy all. We'll have to see. I love the Angels episode. I don't know. I think they're talking about Doctor Who now. Devilman ending will happen. It will be Kino Kiss Kiss. I wrote a review. Want me to post it? Oh my god, I love you, Zan. What did Zan say? Savage, I have it. Oh, he's talking about the manga, I guess. Oh no, Savage has his own manga. Quick chat. Do you have anything else to say? Well, we still have the YouTube audience's attention. We probably don't now this far into the review. I don't know how long we've been going. It feels like it's shorter than usual. Now that we're just shilling Savage's manga, hilarious. Oh no, Zan's posting his Savage manga review. Minty, say something clever. What were you saying while I was ignoring you? Say something clever. Blanket's just saying bye, YouTube. Anyone got something to say? Anything else going through here? If this fucking thing has wings, you all owe me $5. I want that many Twitch subscribers. I think you can do what's the sponsorship thing on YouTube or something? I think I can do that now. I don't think I will though. You all owe me Patreon money. If this thing has wings, make a bit now. Alright, you're so confident this thing doesn't have wings. Stupid prediction, I know. But if it has fucking wings, I'm entitled to your money. Make a wager. I think you might not be allowed to do that on Twitch, so just joking. Look at this fucking claw thing though. I'm going to read Titanfelt comments. Pray for me as a stan of the series. I can't take the criticism of my favorite story. Kiss Kiss Boys, I'm out. Seth was here. I didn't even know. What the fuck? He must have been in the big clusterfuck I wasn't paying attention to. Let me just scroll up and read a random comment. I scrolled up. Well, no, it was just something I'd already read. Fuck me. What if it doesn't? What do we get? What if it doesn't? What do we get? I don't know what Leopold is talking about. I wonder if the implications for Magath dying are he's kind of the one guy who could have convinced the other Malayans to not destroy Paradis. Well, if the rumbling goes to plan, Marley just might be gone, and we might just have to negotiate with everybody else, which could be interesting. Implications we are getting the rumbling ending, bro. Yes, everything means we're getting the rumbling ending. A little trivia, I don't know if you noticed, but Gabi pledging to the scouts in chapter 127 is supposed to parallel Yuri and Kenny. I think she's supposed to represent that miracle. Maybe. I do remember Yuri bowing to Kenny. Gabi's no longer a queen, she's just a god now, so that's pretty cool. Kyle reading a random comment out of context 10 minutes later after skipping it. I don't understand this. What does it mean? No, it was just the one I had already read. Your other big one. So, fuck you. Alright, YouTube audience, get the fuck out of here. We don't got anything interesting to say anymore. Another chapter, how long do we go? Hold on. Maybe like an hour? Definitely shorter than usual. I don't know. I didn't like the chapter as much as usual. There wasn't like some big Connie shoot in the other two moments like we got last chapter, or the big Kiyomi slam, like the big fuck yeah moments. We did get the moment at the end. The Gabi shooting Falco thing was also cool. The big panel I went over with all of them carrying each other out, that was all good shit. That's really all. I don't know. I don't think they're at the level of the stuff we got in the previous few chapters, but it was still cool. That's the intro. That's the outro. Support links in the description below. Get out of here. Thanks.